Yes, I know this is my second Loki video of the day, but come on, this is too interesting to ignore. So ever since his very first appearance in the MCU back in 2011, Loki has always been a fan favourite amongst fans. And I can understand the appeal because Loki is by far one of the most interesting and complex villains in the MCU, if not one of the most interesting and complex characters in the MCU period. And just recently, Marvel has confirmed a theory that is so big that it almost completely changes Loki's character altogether. Now for those who are unfamiliar with this theory, it has been widely speculated that Loki is never truly a villain, but instead he is just a misunderstood soul who is mainly just a trickster than anything else. Which at first glance, that does seem pretty reasonable and it does make a lot of sense, but then you have to take into account his role in the Avengers, where he was at his most villainous while trying to rule the world. But there is an actual explanation behind this, as it was in fact the scepter that was given by Thanos that was ultimately turning Loki into Thanos' pawn. And this theory is 100% confirmed thanks to the Marvel website itself. And revolving around the whole scepter theory, the website does state, and I quote, "Arriving at the Sanctuary through a wormhole caused by the Bifrost, Loki met the other, ruler of the ancient race of extraterrestrials, the Chitauri, and Thanos, offering the god of mischief domination over his brother's favourite realm, Earth. Thanos requested the Tesseract in return. Gifted with a scepter that acts as a mind control device, Loki would be able to influence others. Unbeknownst to him, the scepter was also influencing him, fueling his hatred over his brother Thor and the inhabitants of Earth." Now sure, this quote still makes it clear that Loki does hate his brother Thor. It does outright state that Loki wasn't in complete control back in the Avengers and that he was just another pawn for Thanos. Which once again does change a lot about his character, because at one point Loki was deemed to be the ultimate evil for the MCU, at least before we got around to Thanos. And if some of the earliest concept art for Loki is anything to go by, it was clear that back in the day they did have plans for Loki to become the MCU's equivalent of the Joker. But the more the MCU carried on, people were more interested in Tom Hiddleston's performance as Loki, to the point where they pretty much changed his character completely and tried to make him somewhat redeemable. And given how Loki has been in somewhat of a redemption arc for a very long time now, this new retcon for the character does make a ton of sense. But at the same time, I can see this somewhat devaluing Loki as a villain, because Loki has always been dubbed as one of the best MCU villains, but these days Marvel has been pushing Loki to go in the less than villainous position. And while it does dampen his status as a villain, I still think this new retcon does strengthen his overall character. So if you ask me, I don't mind this retcon all too much, because traditionally Loki at his worst is only ever mischievous. And plus, with a universe as big as the MCU, they are bound to have some retcons here and there at some point. So how do you feel about this new revelation in that Loki was mind controlled back in the Avengers? Do you think that this ruins him as a villain, or do you think that this further strengthens his character? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.